I feel that each of the past 3 years, I've been very blessed to attend annual.
The last couple of years, I've just thoroughly enjoyed the covenanting ministry services.
I guess for me, there was a sense of worship from beginning to end. Even much of the business seemed to be done. I found in that spirit of worship and being together as a family, we perhaps acknowledged that the Spirit was moving among us, and we went with it. We gave ourselves as a court the freedom to do that.
I hope we can continue to keep that positive tone. If I had one word for the whole conference, it would be hope. People left strengthened and inspired.
And we wanted it to be inspirational. And my theme for the year had been the theme of treasure. There's a verse in the New Testament that says, "The kingdom of heaven is like this. A real estate developer discovers a treasure in a field, and he sells all his properties so he can buy that field and get the treasure." And so the question we were considering throughout the conference is, what is this treasure that God has given us that brings heaven to earth and brings earth closer to heaven?
And a wonderful mix with the themes, I think, for all three of them. Sue Browning, Pat Morrison, and President Paul himself. They took a significant theological message. And out of that message, they did two things. They all told a personal story. In our good Methodist roots, we'd say they gave testimony, something we never do in our tradition, or almost never. And thinking about what they said now, like the goosebumps come, because it's the power of a personal story. And then out of that, they offered this nugget for people to take home in the way they live out their faith in marriage. So that mix of a profound idea, a personal experience of it, and this is your story in this way, that was awesome in the truest sense of the word.
A part of being inspirational is being more in touch with our feelings and allowing Spirit to move us out of just our brains and that kind of control part of ourselves. And we had fun exploring that thematically and in table group conversation, which is, I think, the backbone of a conference. People around tables getting to know each other, sharing their ideas. And there were lots of tears and laughter around the table. And when you get laughter and tears at any event, I think you're mining some good stuff.
It was a great image, and definitely, the gift of his presidency was he helped people remember the treasure that's the United Church. And that gave people such a wonderful sense of identity.
Well, the annual meeting, which takes place here in London at the Hellenic Centre, running May 23, 24, 25, is open to quite a wide range of ages. Anyone of any age that has hope for the church or is looking for encouragement for being the church, and how we can be active participants in naming and claiming our future would be interested in attending. My theme is changing the landscape, and I think it builds nicely upon President Paul Browning's theme, or invitation to be authentic church, to claim that pearl that is the treasure of United Church. While we often think of the landscape as changing, I've been quite intentional about phrasing it changing the landscape, highlighting that we have an active role that we can choose and be at work changing the landscape.
But I'm often struck that we talk about our closures and our losses, and what we can't sustain is the level of infrastructure we've had as a church. That's clear. But we are still incredibly wealthy. In London Conference alone, according to the last yearbook statistics, we have assets worth $480 million. And great things were possible with it. we have to decide what those great things will be, how we'll preserve assets to use them, how we'll direct them. We have big questions ahead of us, and we made a decision to strike a priority working group and to have that priority working group confirm our priorities, recommend a staffing model, and those are going to the executive, and then to bring back a model for the executive to next year's annual meeting. And that way we will look at what work is important and how do we need to be structured to do it so that the work dictates the form, not the form dictates the work.
I have great hope for the church. I believe the United Church of Canada is needed as an ongoing, enduring presence in Canada, urban areas, rural areas. I continue to learn that for people who are not so much connected with church, that they continue to think very highly of who Jesus is, that his branding still remains strong. And I think as church, as we move forward, we need to practice being and acting more like the Jesus figure that we read about, and be less concerned about believing right things, and give greater freedom and permission to believe a variety of things. The United Church has been pretty good at that already in its history. I think we certainly need to continue that. People in the community that I speak with are looking for a place to belong, a place where their spirits are nourished, where they encounter the divine, where there is an experience of the sacred and the holy, and they're challenged in life, and that they can bring everything that they are and not have to check a part of themselves at the door in order to enter church. I think all of that the United Church has really been working at well, and that's why I think we're well positioned to continue in ministry in our communities across this country. So I continue to have a strong hope. Should we really take up that call to be open, permission-giving, welcoming, and that we're prepared to roll up our sleeves and really be about the work of changing the landscape.